Hey there, this is Katherine Cartwright. Welcome. I am sharing the new card kit from the Stamps of Life called You're Sweet. This is for June 2023, and I'm going to do a quick unboxing to show you what is included, and then I'm going to make 10 cards and a little bonus project. So there's a stamp and die set included. This month is all about birthdays. There's some great sentiments. There's a word die set that says You're Sweet. There's some fun embellishments, some felt stickers, these little flower stickers, these puffy stickers, which are so cute, lots and lots of candles, and then there's some organdy ribbon in a beautiful blue. You also get a storage envelope and envelopes to send your cards in, and then there is cardstock, full-size sheets of cardstock. There's powdered sugar, strawberry, my favorite red, guava, which is that bright pink, lemonade, ginger snap, pool, which is a beautiful blue, and so lots of cardstock to go ahead and allow you to get started making some projects. I'm going to flip through the paper pad. Look at those adorable strawberries. I love strawberries, so cute. And there are pages that are already pre-printed that work with piece of cake to stamp and more. Piece of cake add-ons. So there are a couple of die sets that you can use to cut out these different fun pre-printed elements, and I'm going to show you that in a second. But let me keep flipping through. This is a great quality patterned paper, and then it just repeats a second time. So there are 24 sheets in the kit. So you can see there's a lot of fun, bright, cheerful things in this kit. And let's get started. Okay, so I want to spend a second here and show you the stamp set. This is if you are in the club. There are a bunch of clubs that Stamps of Life offers. They have the Card Kit Club, they have the Stamp Club, and then they have the Die Hard, which is the stamp and dies together. And then they also have a Fold It Club. So like I say, lots of clubs to choose from. Now, there are a couple of die sets that go with this. This is pieces of cake to stamp, and then there's more for cake to stamp, more for cake that are dies as well. And so I'm just showing you how to use these. These are kind of closed around the edge like a solid die, and I'm just using the edge of, I'm coming from the bottom to the top to line those up. And then you can see that I've got the pieces of cake lined up as well. That one's an open die, and so I can just run that through my machine. So I wanted to spend a second talking to you about that. And I'm going to run these through my little tabletop machine, if I can get it to stay in there. And then we'll see what we get. But you can see there are birthday candles. There are these really cute dollops of icing with either strawberries or cherries in them, some little cookies, and then, of course, this adorable piece of cake that is already on a plate. Super cute. I have another video, too, of the stamp and die set that shows how to use it. I'll link all of that stuff in the description. So you get your little pieces of the little kind of cookie things, and then the candles. I'm also going to show you how I'm going to die cut some of these, the inside pieces of the candles. There are 3 different candles included in this card kit, and these are it. I'm cutting them from Blue Sky, Guava, and Lemonade. And I'm just taking a second here to paper piece these together. I wanted to show you how I'm going to do that. So I cut off the top of the little flame of one of my candles, and then you can see there's some partial cutting that has already occurred in the die cut. But if you just take your scissors and cut a little bit more, you'll see it releases away, and I've got that little piece there that I can layer onto perfectly another one of the die cuts. And so I just wanted to spend a second on that. Sometimes I do things off screen and then people say, well, how did you do that? I don't understand. Or they're new to stamping or die cutting and they're not familiar with it. So I wanted to take a second because I'm going to use this candle later, and I don't want people to say, where did that come from? That's different than the others. So basically, like I say, I took these 3 different colors and I have cut them out a bunch of times so I can layer them together by doing this paper piecing. And I will add a little bit of glitter glue to that off screen, and then I will use that later in the video. So let's go ahead and get started on making cards. This is the Gatefold die set from Stamps of Life that I'm using. I'm putting this card together. You cut it twice, and it has this fun gatefold action where you close the card, but you can still see a little bit on the inside, hence the name Gatefold. So I've cut that and glued that together, and then I'm going to add some pieces of this strawberry paper. It's so cute, and you almost don't want to use it. I want to hoard the paper, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use it. That and the cherries. I love anything that is fruit related with cards. It's so much fun. So let me add these two pieces on there, and they layer perfectly. These are layering dies that are included in that set. And I will link all of these products that I use in the video. You may have, if you've been with Stamps of Life for a while, you probably have a lot of these products in your craft stash. So I encourage you to pull them out and use them with this new kit if you are a club member. If you're not a club member, I have you covered. I've got all of that information linked in the description as well. So I'm going to take a piece, one of those pre-printed pieces of the cake, and I'm going to adhere that to the front of my gatefold. I'm just going to do one side so it will open and close easily. You could do some other way to tie it down. You could maybe punch a hole in it and tie a ribbon through on that side. There are a lot of different ways you can make this cute gatefold close. This strawberry die is also included. It's one of those dies included in the die set in this card kit this month. And so I did the same process with the paper piecing, where I cut a green piece of the strawberry and a red piece of the strawberry. I just trimmed off the top of the green part of that strawberry and adhered it onto the red. Very easy to do. Same sort of process. I have gone ahead and stamped "Wishing you the happiest of days." That's one of the sentiments from that set. You can see you've got all the candles, the strawberry, and there's this adorable little tiny strawberry too that I'll use later in the video. But again, all about birthdays this month. But I'm going to make a couple of cards that aren't necessarily birthday, so you can definitely use these products in different ways. I'm going to pull out these adorable puffy stickers. They remind me of the 80s. When I was growing up, puffy stickers were all the rage, and so to see them back on trend, it makes my heart sing. So I'm just going to put those two small ones down there with that larger one, and then I can close up my card. I'm going to use some of this beautiful organdy ribbon. This is in the pool color, a beautiful blue. And I will tie this on there, and then the recipient can just either untie it or slide it off, however they wish to open the card. But it just makes a fun way to seal your card, and it's cheerful, and then they can just open it up when they get it at their house. But of course I'm going to have to tie it another time. I didn't get it quite right the way I wanted it, so I'm going to untie it and tie it again. You could knot it if you wanted to, and then easily the person could slip it off as well. But lots of fun to be had with closing up your gatefold card. I love this die set. It's so many possibilities with it. So there is the first card. How cute. All right, I'm going to do some watercoloring today. I've got some watercolor paper that had been on my desk, and I love to watercolor because it's very forgiving. There's a lot of imperfection to watercoloring, and I love that because it always looks great. So I put some of this re-inker into my little palette bowl, so to speak. I'm using strawberry and tangerine. I've added some water to it with my spray bottle, and then I'm just going to kind of loosely add it to my card. I'm not going to cover the whole front of my card. I'm just going to kind of make a focal point. And I'm seeing where I need to add a little bit more color. I want the color to pop out beside and behind the little die cut of the cake. So I'm just cleaning my brush here. I've got one of these water brushes, which makes it really easy to do a project like this. and I'm just trying to make sure I've gotten most of the color out. And I'm going to switch over now to tangerine. And you can kind of lighten it if you want. You can see I've pulled some of it into another one of my sections of my bowl, and that will lighten my color. I can also add a little bit more water, which would dilute it if I felt it was too intense. And so you can see I'm squeezing a little bit into my bowl, and you can see the difference between the left and the right, how much lighter it is. So you can kind of control the amount of color that you want. And I don't want to get the paper too wet. I'm getting a little too wet on that left hand side, so I need to kind of pull that color into my project because I don't want it to pool on there. And here it is dried beautifully, and I stamped the sentiment on the bottom, and then I'm going to add a piece of cake to this card. And then I'm using guava for the background. I just trimmed a little bit of the ends off on this card, so you'll just see a little bit of the pink peeking out from the sides. And I'm going to make sure that that's glued down really well. Watercolor paper is a heavier paper, and it performs a little bit differently than your traditional cardstock, in that when you add water it may curl a little bit, and so you just want to make sure you've got a lot of adhesive on there to hold it down. It's just got a little bit more body to it. And I've added some foam to my cake, and now I add a little bit of foam to my cake topper, which is a little bit of icing or whipping cream or some kind of deliciousness on top of your cake. And I'm just positioning, this is one of those pre-printed candles. I did stamp and die cut and color a bunch of the candles as well, so I'm going to have a bunch of candles to use in this video. So let me go ahead and glue this down after I get it positioned kind of where I want it. Going a little bit to the left of my topping, and then once that is where I want it to be, I'll add this on top. So cute and so easy because all the coloring's been done for you, and then you can just kind of embellish it a little bit if you want to. I've got a piece of that tangerine cut. That is from the die set Pieces of Cake. Okay, moving on to the next one. I am going to have cherries or strawberries on this one. Lots of strawberry color, red, my favorite red. And I'm going to finish off this card. I'm going to let that dry for a second and make sure that I've got good adhesion. I'm going to work on adding some foam to the back of my cake, and you could keep these flat if you wanted to for mailing. You don't have to add the dimension that I am, but sometimes I like to do those to my cards, and I still don't have any problems usually going through the mail. But if you want to keep them flat for mailing, you absolutely could, and they still would look really, really good. Okay, I'm just finishing up these little pieces, and then I can add these on there. I did die cut the You're Sweet using strawberry cardstock with powdered sugar on top, and I love the font of these word dies. Very, very cute. So I'm just readjusting where I put my foam tape. It's not exactly where I wanted it, so I just needed to tear that off and start again. Now I could leave it just like that. It's so cute without any of the extra strawberries, but I had a couple more that I wanted to use that I'm going to add to the side of my cake once I get my sentiment dies on there. And I'm going to go ahead and add the adhesive to my second word so I can kind of line them up at the same time and add them to the top and the bottom of the card. So while this is a little bit birthday-y, you don't have to use this for a birthday because I don't have any candles. It could just be that I'm sending a sweet piece of cake to a friend saying hello. All right, so now I'm moving on to this picnic basket. When I saw this card kit, I immediately thought of the picnic basket. I thought it would be fun to somehow add a piece of cake into a picnic basket. I wouldn't want to go on a picnic without some kind of delicious dessert because I love desserts, and I thought the cake might be a good one to add into this. So I used some of these bright, fun colors. I went a little bit not realistic with my picnic basket, and I love it. Instead of doing just the traditional ginger snap or a craft color that I normally would, I went a little more with the theme of the kit using guava and pool and lemonade. And here is that little candle that I made at the beginning that I paper pieced together. I did add a little glitter glue to the flame and let that dry for a little bit of sparkle. And I'm going to, of course, pop in a little piece of strawberry as well. And I'm just trying to get my cake piece exactly where I want it to go. And when I'm satisfied, I will move on to finishing embellishing this card. And I've got a few more of those puffy stickers in the similar tone of that big candle that I made. And I thought about adding some more strawberries, but I just wasn't sure. So I decided to just call it a day there and finish with the rest of my card. So you'll see that this is just the front of the card. I'm going to cut a folded. If you're not familiar with the folded, I've got a ton of videos on those too. These are shaped cards. And I have gone ahead and cut that from white, and I stamped the inside. And so this will be the actual card base of this finished picnic basket. So cute. Wishing you the happiest of days. So you're sending a little picnic basket through the mail. All right, here comes another one. I have switched to a step-up card. This is, I think, called a center step-up card. I'm using the mint chip color, which is also in that paper pad. I love that the paper pads have the colors included, the cardstock, so that if you are a Stamps of Life fan, user of their products, you will know exactly what to pull out and use. I've got some lemonade pieces. This die set includes the layering pieces, which makes these cards really fast and easy. This is one of my favorite die sets that you can use to make a card because you can make pretty much anything. It includes this front piece too that I used to cut the cherry cardstock. That was another one that kind of hurt when I had to cut it apart, but I will do it for this video happily. You know, when you get these beautiful papers, you just don't want to let them go. But, you know, alas, that is what we are here for, to use our paper and make cards. I'm adding another one of those fabulous die cut cake pieces to the front, and you can see I've cut Your Sweet again. Again, love this font. I would love to see more dies in this font. They are really, really cute. It just looks fun and fresh and definitely summery. All right, so I'm going to add the little cherry topper on top, and then I'll add a little bit more of the foam. The foam that I'm using, I'm going between using the foam sheets, which I can cut down to size, which I have used for years and years, and really, really enjoy them because they are so flexible, and then I can cut them to size. And then I've also got some little dimensionals that are also cut down to a smaller shape. So those are the two foam products that I really use a lot. Okay, now I'm going to come back here and add a little bit of ribbon at the top with that beautiful pool color, I should say. And then I'm just going to do a simple knot on this one. And I will tie this off to the left. And then I'll have a little bit more embellishment to do, but that is it. And this card looks so cute, but it really is super quick and easy. And you can just change it up completely by using a different color and a different piece of patterned paper. So again, lots and lots of flexibility. Here are these beautiful little flowers. They're kind of have a little bit of an iridescent shine to them, and they're just really, really pretty. The camera does not do them justice. I think they're so much prettier in person. So if you get this kit at home, I hope you will enjoy them because I really, really liked them a lot. And there is another card of cherries. All right, so I've got a little scalloped circle and this beautiful polka dot patterned paper with polka dots all over, and I'm just trimming down my cardstock to fit this little scallop. These scallop dies are a little bit larger, the circles with the little edges on them, but they're so pretty. So I'm just making sure that I've cut it large enough to fit that. And then there are these fun felt kind of squiggly lines. These are my favorite embellishment this month. I absolutely love these. I wish I had another pack of them. They're just so fun and cheerful, and I love a little border that you can use to add to a card or a project. And I'm going to save that little piece of yellow because there might be something else that I can use it for. I'm certainly not going to throw it away. All right, so I've got a little basket. I'll link these in the description. I can't remember the name of the set off the top of my head. And I've got all of these strawberries. And again, I die cut the strawberry and then in 2 colors, and then I trimmed off the top and added it to the other. But I want to add a little bit of foam here, and I'm taking care to put the foam mostly at the bottom because I want to fill this little basket with strawberries, lots and lots of strawberries. And you could do these strawberries in another color if you wanted. Later in the video, I'm going to have some that I color in pink. If you've ever seen kind of pink strawberries, they're very pretty too. So if you want to mix it up, but of course you could make them any color you wanted to because you're an artist and we can do whatever we want with our cards. So I'm just lining these up, trying to get them all to fit in here. And I like using the liquid glue because I can kind of have a second to get them moved around and have a little bit of flexibility, because honestly, I sort of have general ideas when I start a video of what I'm going to do, but sometimes it gets off the rails or things just don't go exactly like I like. And so really I'm kind of figuring these out as I go, just as you would at your house. And I'm trying to get these to fit exactly how I want them. I thought about popping them up on top with some foam, but I really wanted to build my basket up higher in terms of going up straight vertically. And then, so I'm just going to go up, and then I want to add a little candle. This is another one of those pre-printed candles that I die cut that is in the color scheme of that blue sky and has a beautiful little flame on there. So I'm just gluing the rest of my strawberries into place, making sure that they are going to stay where I want them to. And I will add a little bit of a block there to make sure I get a good adhesion. But I do want to add a little bit of the blue sky ink on the edges just so they won't get too lost in that white background. It does show up okay, but I think it shows up a little better with the extra ink on the edges, and it just takes just a second. So I'll add this to an A2 sized card base, a strawberry card base. A2, if you're not familiar, is 5.5 by 4.25 is the finished card base. And then I'll take some liquid glue and add this to the back of my scalloped circle. So I like how that's coming together pretty well. I got that fun little basket of strawberries, sending birthday wishes to a friend. I have stamped the inside, wishing you the happiest of days. I did that in strawberry ink as well. And I've got another one of those candles that I stamped and die cut that are included in the stamp set this month. I was excited that there was a stamp set in there. So that was a fun surprise. Here is the little word sweet that I'm going to add. And then here are those little strawberries that I referenced that are also included. I stamped and die cut a bunch of them and colored them in red and then in pink. I used my tri-blend markers on these, and so I think it's the dark red blend, and I used the lightest red. And there we go. There's another card down. All right, I've got this one ready to go. Another cake piece popped up with a little bit of foam, and I pulled out the banana split sundae set that has these adorable little ice cream scoops. I love ice cream too. Like I said, I like my desserts. I really love ice cream in the summer. Where I live, it's warm, warm, warm. And it just makes me crave ice cream because I want something cool at night when it's really, really hot and humid. So I'm a big fan of ice cream. So I'm going to add that little dollop of cream on the top with strawberry. And then I've got my 3 scoops of ice cream to the side. So I have just kind of laid them where I want them. And then I'm going to start kind of gluing the top to the next one. and I used lemonade and banana on one, mint chip and blue jay is that middle one, and then I have candy, I believe, or bubblegum, and guava, that darker pink. So I've got this nice little trio of ice cream to go along with that cake, because usually when I eat cake I like a little bit of ice cream beside it, like I've said. All right, so I put foam on the left hand side where it's going to kind of stand next to the cake. And then I've got another tiny little piece of foam to add to the cherry that has to go on top. I have stamped that sentiment and adhered that down. That is from this stamp set as well. And then that will all go onto this beautiful guava pink card base. I will take a second to add a little bit of glitter glue to those little kind of die cut indentations in the ice cream, because who wouldn't love some glittery ice cream? All right, here's a little bonus project. I couldn't resist trying and seeing if this would work. I had another piece of cake ready. This is the small box set. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I love the box set die. There's a large one and a small one at Stamps of Life. I have both of them and I use them quite frequently. I've mentioned I have teenagers and they would rather have money or gift cards or something. And so this is a great way to give a gift to somebody instead of just handing them a gift card. For this, I would probably put some little treats in there because it's not the biggest, but it works great for these kind of little die cuts. In these paper pads, sometimes if they're large enough, they are a perfect fit for the box set die. So you can see I'm gluing one side down and then I cut the other side in the same lemonade for the back of my box. I'm not going to decorate the back, just going to let that card front, the little cake piece, be the star of the show. And you can see I get a nice little box here. How cute. So for a birthday party, and if you have the stamp and die set, you can make these any color you want. And you can continue to make them time and time again because you'll have the dies and the stamp to create this layered cake. How cute. But I am going to add a little candle to my cake box, and that is one that I stamped and die cut, and I'm just going to add that on there. And then here are these cute little strawberries that I did in pink. So I've got a bigger one, and then I'm going to use one of the smaller ones to finish off this quick little box set die. These are so fun. Yay! Happy birthday. All right, next card. I have got another card base here, and I have dropped in the word celebrate, and so I have used the strawberry cardstock, and then I'm going to add a little panel of patterned paper on the front, and then there's a little notch. You can see how it stands up that allows the card to stand up for the recipient. And I'm going to put a little piece of the cake on there inside to really get my sentiment across that this is all about celebrating someone's birthday. I've added that little piece on the top of some more cherry, and then I will glue this cake piece directly onto the card front. I have some more of those candles, and I will glue them directly on as well. I love these candles. They have a great size, and again, since there are 3 of them in the card kit, this month, you have a lot of fun things that you can do with them. And I like that the flames go different directions based on which one there is. There's a smaller one too of that one. I just used the large one and the medium. Okay, so I'm going to add a piece of this felt little embellishment that is so cute. It fits perfectly at the top of this card, and I thought the color scheme worked great. So I'm going to add that on top, and then I decided I wanted to have another piece of paper behind the celebrate so that it really shows up when the card is closed. And so I'm using the layering die that's included in this die set, and that way I have the exact size of paper that I need. And I'm using that blue jay piece with the little kind of squiggly lines on it. It's super, super cute. So you could use a solid piece of cardstock if you wish. You have a lot of flexibility, but it fits perfectly up there at the top. And then you can really see the word. And so hopefully whoever receives this will know that I hope that they have a great birthday and can celebrate. All right, on this next card, I've got some strawberry and some more of that strawberry cardstock pattern paper that has the lines. I thought these two would work together. So I had some little scraps. I'm going to glue them together. And then I got a little bit of extra glue, so I'm just kind of wiping that off the back. And then once that's dry, I can die cut my front together. And so I'm using this scalloped piece. I'm going to trim off very closely because I certainly will save those little scraps of paper, particularly the strawberry, because I love it so much. And here is the card base that I made. And once I run that through my machine, I've got a great card front. So I can add that right onto my card base. And again, I used strawberry. So cute. The yellow, I love the yellow and the red together. I think they work really, really well with a little bit of green on the top of those strawberries. Now I've got one more piece of my felt strip that I'm going to add where these two pattern papers basically meet. And I'm going to trim off just a tiny bit. It's a little tiny bit long because of the scallop. So I'm just going to take a pair of sharp scissors and kind of trim that off and press that down, and it works really, really well. And again, here's that stamp set that's included in the kit. I have stamped and die cut and colored these strawberries using my tri-blend markers. I've added some foam, and these little strawberries fit exactly. I mean, look how well they fit. When I saw that, I thought, I wonder if I could put one of the strawberries in there. And then I decided it might be cute to have a row of them to really play up the strawberries in this set. And I did the You're Sweet in grass and lemonade. So got that nice contrast at the bottom against that red paper. And I just love the strawberries. Lots of fun. Okay, so here is another one. I'm using the Sand Dollar Fold It. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video there's a Fold It Club, and this is the one that was for this time frame. I think that it's still available for a little bit more time. If you're interested in joining that club, you would get this Sand Dollar, but check on the website and they'll tell you what is available if you can still purchase this one. I had a piece of pattern paper in my craft stash that I used to create that little sand dollar, and I added it to a piece of ginger snap paper behind it. All of this went onto a piece of pattern paper and then a ginger snap card base. So I'm going to add one more of my pieces of cake in the corner, and I love that the candles they include are the same tone as the card kit, and so I've got those beautiful ginger snap candles which work beautifully with this. I'm using a super old word die, Yay. You may have in your craft collection. This, I believe, was a really old die in a card kit, and I say yay all the time. So this is one of my favorite word dies to use, and it fit perfectly in that corner. So that kind of sent it over the edge. I decided that I needed a little bit more icing on my cake, and so I pulled out a piece of marigold, which is a little bit of a darker shade from the tangerine. You could use the tangerine, but that's just what I had in front of me. And so I have cut the shadow and the main piece of my icing, and I will add this to my piece of cake to finish it off. I had decided I was going to use a piece of foam, but then when I looked at it on the piece of cake, I thought it was a little too high off, and so I'm going to peel this off and use some glue to finish off this card. Super, super cute. And there you go, with a little bit more of the icing. Okay. So here are all the projects. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope that you found some inspiration. This card kit is a lot of fun this month with lots of cake and birthday goodness. Here's that Gatefold card, and again, I really love the pre-printed sheets. So if you have any questions about anything that I created, leave me a comment and I will get back to you if I can answer it. And then if you're interested in the clubs, be sure and check out in the description box. I've got the link if you're interested in signing up, or if you have any questions about it, leave me a message as well, and I will be happy to answer it if I can. Here is that watercolor set that I did, just using those re-inkers. It's a great way to stretch your craft stash. If you don't have any watercolors, you have watercolors, because if you have ink pads and you have re-inkers, just add a little water and you can start painting with them whenever you want to. Here is the strawberry card, and then I just showed you the picnic basket. And here is the sand dollar. Again, if you're interested in the Fold It Club, that is where you would find the sand dollar. And I can't forget the little box set that I created with the little cake piece. I'm just trying to dig it out. It's sitting on my desk across the way, so I had to run grab it, and with that sweet little duo of the pink strawberries. So again, I hope you found some inspiration in this. I enjoyed making all this and sharing it with you, and I hope to see you soon. Be well. Have a great day.